Chowder, 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 chowder. Hello, I'm Philip. Weird! Tonight on the show that's named Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
We're gonna make New England chowder. And here's a picture of it. Throughout my life, but only my adult life, I have been accused of talking in a weird way. Oftentimes people ask me, are you from New England? And the answer is no, but I've been there. Some people probably requested this recipe, and you can take that to the bank, viewers. Viewers who, by the way, John is okay with me calling dumb, as long as I call myself dumb and then call you smart later. Have I ever made clam chowder before? These are the questions I ask myself, me who may or may not experience short-term and long-term memory loss from time to time. And the answer is, I think I made it once, in the days before I became pretty better. So this was like the developing is not the word that I want to call it because that has weird implications. But we'll say culinary novice of myself, in which I'm exploring the culinary world. I'm trying new things. I never ate the chowder when I was growing up, other than Campbell's Chunky Soup, which I can't say I'm a fan of. If mom ever brought home the chowder from Campbell's Chunky Soup, what off-brand, whatever the f it was, I didn't like it. But now that I've advanced through the ranks and am a journeyman of the culinary artisanship, as it were, I think that I could probably make this pretty good. Let's get started. I would be remiss if I were to make good choices, Iggy. Hey, look, my dogs still are in the kitchen. This used to be regular footage. Iggy's an old grumpy bastard these days. All he does is whine and groan. I would be remiss if I were to fail to inform you. It's one of those special episodes. And it's only special because it's like the old ways, in which I pre-gamed a little bit before we started filming. In that I had one beer and one half of one bourbon drink. And here I am with a whole one. That was a meme from an episode that I've not used since then, which I really liked. Here it is, a whole one. That was great. Okay, here we have the fine La Crusette, the fanciest pot I've ever owned. Let's get that pot heated up to a medium-low heat. And to that, we're gonna add some bacon. And why do we add the bacon, you ask? But you didn't ask. Nobody is like, well, why would you add bacon? They know. Everybody knows. The way that you make a food that comes in a can, such as these clams do, tastes good, add a little bacon. Private selection, center cut bacon, hardwood smoked, US inspected and passed by the Department of Agriculture. I'm gonna add about half a pack. How many slices is half a pack? It's about 6 ounces. All right. Now here's something to think about. How much time do you want to spend cutting bacon? Generally speaking, bacon's not that pleasant to cut. And you can see, look at this. We got thick bacon, we got thin bacon. That's when we write a strongly worded letter to Kroger and say, look, get your quality control together. But at any rate, you can spend a lot of time chopping this bacon up into small pieces with the potential end result that you will sprinkle small pieces of bacon on top of your chowder. Or you could spend a short amount of time and have big hunks of bacon on top of your chowder. Generally speaking, the smaller pieces are going to be more normal. I don't know if anyone's going to complain about having a big piece of bacon ever in any context. Who in life has been like, bacon too big? No thanks. You ever felt that way? No, of course not, because you are a smart and engaged viewer. All right, so I chopped the fat bacon. I'm just going to plop that right in the pot. I'm gonna work on the rest of the bacon. Look how squiggly it is. Bunch of bullshit. And you can see me not struggling at all. I've never struggled on the show, only succeeded. No problems ever. And if I haven't said it on the show before, my theory is that in life, my very last words on this planet will be, no problem. It's fine. All right, good enough. All right, so we're cooking our bacon. Using a Pretty Good Cooking branded spoon, move your bacon around. And if you want, you can add a little oil, but it really isn't necessary. We're just trying to render out some of the bacon grease. All right, next up, let's start cutting some aromatics. I have 2 ribs of celery here. I pulled them from a head of celery that I had in my refrigerator. The refrigerator is where I store my celery when I'm not using it. The celery we want to finely mince. And the way I like to finely mince celery is to cut it into thin strips long ways, like that. And then we go through, finely mince it. And you may be looking at this and saying, it's kind of a lot of celery. But since it's small, I'm gonna cook it for a little bit. It's really not that much, but also, they got a lot of chowder. Next up is both half an onion and a whole one. And why are we using an onion and a half? I thought it would be nice. These are kind of small onions. That's all I gotta say about that. So this one, we're gonna do our regular chop. You can mince it, you can chop it. It's really up to you. You are the Paul Bunyan of how you chop your onion. That's a Chef John thing. If you say Chef John on the internet, everyone will love you. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. So I gotta make room. So this is one of these cool features for these little doodads is that you can overfill a measuring cup with it. Cool feature. Get in there, you pieces of shit. Oh no. God, there's f***ing onions everywhere now. All right, something we gotta do is we gotta drain the clams. I got 4 cans of clams. They come in tuna cans. But they're not tuna cans, they're clam cans. Here's the real question. You think there's any dolphins in these clams? Oh no. All right, so when John is able to predict the terminology I'm gonna use, it's good. We got minced clams. We got chopped clams. That's a depth of flavor. But you gotta drain them all, regardless of how they've been chopped. But you gotta keep that clam juice, because it's going in the chowder. What's the difference between chopped clams and minced clams? Can you imagine trying to turn that line into a joke? Probably lands well in New England. All right, this bacon causing problems. It's not cooked. I think we might need to throw a little butter in there. I was gonna do it anyways. Look at that, you scrape the fond right off. Maybe that's the quality of la crusette. You can scrape the shit right off. Clam juice? Get over here. Some butter. That's crazy. This bacon is cooking weirdly. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well Kevin's not here, but I got garlic to chop, so that's a problem. So I'm gonna do that. Got 4 cloves of garlic. I'm using the old smash peel method. All right, so that garlic's gonna go in a little bit later, but we'll chop that. This is 5 cloves, not 4, like I thought it was. An extra one snuck in there, and a little bit of garlic skin too, for the heck of it. What does that garlic skin do? Say it with me now, kids. Please film my face. Depth of flavor. That's my impression of any recipe for anything these days. You gotta add cooked chicken and uncooked chicken for a depth of flavor. Okay, Bon Appetit. Okay, New York Times. Every f***ing recipe's got 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever your f***ing rating system is. I don't trust any f***ing recipe from the New York Times. I think it's New York Times, because every single one has full ratings. I think that they have an army of probably people in another country just being like, well, we gotta smash them New York Times recipe ratings. This is how food is meant to be. But it's not. You go down to the comments and they're like, nah, it wasn't good. I endorse BettyCrocker.com. I sort of mean that. Usually I use all recipes, BettyCrocker.com, and whatever the f else that comes up. Like that Pioneer woman, steal some of her shit sometimes. That's it. All right. Okay, so this bacon's looking better, and it's obviously, because we added that bacon. So if you had a slotted spoon, this would be a great time to use it, but I don't know. Somehow have managed to not have a slotted spoon for a long time. And according to this recipe that I'm adapting, you're supposed to remove approximately half the bacon. What happens to the other half? Inquiring minds want to know. Most people who are alive today, maybe only half of them know what inquiring minds want to know means. I don't really know what it means. Okay, let's add the onion and the celery. There it is. Yeah, boy. Looks like a lot. That's because it is a lot. Got a nice frond building up on the pot. Frond. Binging with Babish. Frond. So we cooked those like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna add our patatas. I would say that I use this kind of potato peeler because I'm old school, but in reality, I just can't use it like this. That Y peeler, I feel like I'm gonna kill myself with it, lose control of the Y peeler and shear a nipple off or something. It's gonna be terrible. Every recipe I saw said use russet potatoes. So here I have Yukon Gold potatoes. Because I don't think they grow these in New England, otherwise they'd be New England gold potatoes. And how many do you use? I don't know, like maybe 2 pounds. I pulled out 6 of these, the big ones, and I'm probably gonna use 5. 5 potatoes, giving these aromatics a stir. Friend! Time to chop the burritos. And you wanna chop these fairly small. Some might call them bite-sized pieces. This is the best footage in the whole show. Just me chopping potatoes. How good are potatoes? This is the question I ask myself every time I think about how great potatoes are. Because inevitably the answer is, they're really f***ing good. Feel a little silly. Feeling like the old Silly Billy. I wonder what the first thing that shows up when you Google Silly Billy is. Please put it right here, John. All right, our aromatics are looking fine. Real fine. In goes our garlic. Don't leave nothing behind. Give it a little stir, and then we're gonna give it a little red chili flake. This step is optional, but it's only optional if you're a bitch. So just a little bit, lest we rustle John's jimmies. And then add your burritos. Holy f***, that's probably too many. Okay, no it's not, it's no problem. So we're really just gonna mix it up like so, leave it there, and we're gonna make some stock. And it's gonna be that patented, pretty good fill chicken stock in which we make it using hot tap water. Big glop of yellow chicken shits and put some hot tap water in there. Wait for it to heat up a little bit. Wow, look at that pure, organic, bullshit, USDA yellow chicken stock with a little bit of extra celery. 2 cups. In it goes. All right. Now, if I had a bigger brain, I would have used this to deglaze the bottom of the pot. Would have turned the heat up, didn't do that. And this liquid would have got some of that delicious flavor off of the bottom of the pot. Oh, I think I forgot to do something here. See, this is where we're really adapting the recipe. This is where I f***ed up, and now I gotta fix it. Okay, so extra pan, extra butter. Melt that shit. Oops-a-daisy. Okay, we're gonna let that melt. You can get you some flour. This is white. Okay. It's no problem, guys. It's no problem. This gravy train has no brakes.
Only gas.
Only no, it runs out coal. No, it runs out gravy. Okay. Shit, guys, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. We got a melty butter. We got a little flour. We're making a roux. Oh no. Add a little more. It's gonna get pretty thick. Okay. So this is, you see, this is gonna be too thick for it to be an actual roux, but that's not a problem. And it's not a problem because we're gonna add it to a soup, so that's no problem there. So you see how it's all thick, just like your mama? Take yourself a spoon full of this good shit, pop right in there, okay? And then you mix it up, and you're like, well, what the f did that do? You add a little bit more, maybe even a little bit more. I should have just sprinkled flour before adding all the stock, but I didn't do that. You can see this is just absorbing everything, so that's no problem. This is good enough. The whole point was to cook out some of the flour taste. You don't want it to taste like flour, okay? But then you just add all that shit back in there, okay? And that's gonna look like ass for a little bit. But now look at this, it's clam juice. Okay, so we probably f***ed up. But if we're lucky, and you know that I am, we mix this up enough, it'll get thick. But here's the thing, that ain't nearly enough liquid. So we're gonna add a whole bowl of water. Okay, and then we hit it with the clam juice. Look at that, our roux has dissolved somewhat. In goes the clam juice. Okay, for some reason, we're supposed to also add chicken bouillon. I don't know why. Who can say? Who can say? Now you could season this with many things. Things with like thyme, oregano, or you could just go New England and put a little Old Bay in it. Some Old Bay. That'll give it the New England taste. New England has one flavor, it's Old Bay. I think it'll all work out. All right, did I forget anything? Bay leaves, the bay leaves. You can put a couple of these bay leaves in here. And you know what I realized somewhat recently? I think these are Indian bay leaves, which I think is a different thing from regular bay leaves. But that's, you know, we Occidentals, as it were, we would call them regular bay leaves, but I'm sure people in India call their bay leaves regular bay leaves. It's a whole world, different bay leaves, who knew? Gotta get this up to a simmer. We're gonna simmer it for about 20 minutes. Guys, this is gonna be pretty good. All right, it's been like 20 minutes, and you can tell that we're ready for the clams because the potatoes are pedaños. I'm sorry. One way to tell is if they're easy to break with a fork. That's tender. All right, don't overcook your clams, but do pour them in the chowder. This one's chopped. They look big. All right, let's grab a minced. This one's minced. Much smaller. That's a depth of flavor. I can't believe there's more clams. And one more. Oh no, this one's not even opened all the way. All right, you can see now that there's clams in this chowder. Remove your Indian bay leaves. Can't wait for some guy from Boston to be like, not New England chowder, used Indian bay leaves. All right, at this point, we need a little taste. Oh, it tastes great. The last thing is to add cream. And this is when that chowder gets rich, as it were. Here's 1 pint. And according to that recipe that I've been ripping off this entire time, we're supposed to add about a cup, which is half a pint. So on low heat, we add heavy whipping cream, which we shook. And usually for these kind of things, I can eyeball it, but I have no insight into what's going on inside of here. So I gotta like look down the hole. Seems fine. All right, and we mix to incorporate in any old state. In New England, which is not a state. And just in case anyone in New England forgot, Patriots lost and did not qualify. They've lost in the first round of the playoffs, and the whole country rejoiced. So eat shit. All right, let's see what we're working with. Oh man, I think we made some good chowder. I think we made some really nice chowder. You know, it's real savory, but not really like that clammy. Like, it doesn't taste like punch you in the face seafood. It mainly tastes like creamy potatoes, which is a fabulous flavor. All right, we'll let that sit here just for a minute. Doesn't need too long at all, and then we'll serve it up. We'll be back in one moment. All right, the soup is done and the paint is gone. Here I'm serving it up in a bowl with a saucer, because it's fancy. And you may have noticed I didn't salt this at any point, but it seems fine. All right, here I go trying this chowder. No, got a bacon garnish. Put a bacon on the top like that. Parsley. Look at that, it's nice. Let's give it the taste test. Here I am mixing in the garnish, the rest of the dish. Blowed apple teeth. All right, that time. I got a big old chopped clam in my mouth. I don't know if So it tasted mainly like the savory ingredients therein, this chowder. But chomping on that clam for a minute, I got a big old splash of claminess right at the end. It's good. This is excellent chowder. I think this is like a nice, wholesome, cold weather soup, and it's cheap. We didn't even talk about that. This is cheap as shit to make. This is like your mom's tuna casserole kind of cheap. This is good, easy. Anyone could do this. You don't gotta be in New England. Here's some footage of Kayla enjoying a chowder. Did you get a garnish?
Yes. It's not clammy. It's not clammy. It's potatoey. It's tasty.
Some people like chowder with a hot sauce, particularly Tabasco. You just put a little splash of the Tabash. Imagine if it was named Tabasco. My favorite sauce is Tabasco sauce. I like it so much more with Tabasco. I wouldn't have it any other way. Anything with cream and a little seafood, Tabasco sauce goes so well with. Get you some. Well, thanks people who requested this recipe that we did not explicitly thank. Thanks!
42nd Street Matthew. Will Evans. Ouch, 11.
Without you requesting this dish, we never would have made it. Thanks, New England, except for your football team. Exactly where is New England? Who can say? That's how you do it. Thanks to John, the cameraman. Thanks to Kayla, the tester. We'll see you next time on PGGC.